everyone, I just wanted to do a really quick demo about how to make sauerkraut. Most of you have probably tried sauerkraut, most of you probably don't like it, but the thing is that it doesn't just have to be cabbage, it can be lots of other things. This one has red cabbage and beetroot in it, and ginger's really good. You can just have normal cabbage, you know, any other cabbage, you can add fruit to it, you can add herbs and spices and things to it. You can have dogs tapping their tails in the background because they love sauerkraut so much. So there are loads of different types, but the stuff that you buy from the supermarket is traditionally, or typically should I say, been pasteurized, so there's hardly any goodness in it. But proper sauerkraut that you make yourself or you get from the health food shop is full, absolutely jam-packed full of really good probiotics, which is really good for healing the digestive system, which then heals loads of other systems of the body. So I just wanted to show you just a really quick way of making sauerkraut, so you can benefit from all those lovely good bacteria and things in it. So what I've done, so that it wasn't a really just noisy video for you, I've already used my food processor on the grating function to basically grate down the vegetables. So for this one I have decided I am going to do white cabbage, you can see that, don't know, which is used, I put through the grating function, and carrot too. So this all goes into a large bowl. This was quite a large white cabbage and a couple of large carrots, but it really doesn't matter on sizes and things. It's really your preference of what you like. Like I said, ginger's really good in kraut, and so are herbs and spices and things as well. What have I done with my salt? Because it's run away from itself. What we're going to do is mix it, and then we're going to add the salt, which is kind of the vital ingredient with most ferments, is salt. So basically you shred down your cabbage, take off the outer leaves, shred it down, stick it in a bowl, and then I am now going to go behind the camera because I'm pretty certain that is where I've put the salt, yes. And then we're going to add salt. So for one large cabbage, you're wanting about a teaspoon of salt. So this was quite a large cabbage and I had some carrots in there, so I'm going to put a teaspoon and a half. And then, like I said, you can add any herbs and spices you like. And then what would traditionally happen is you would pound it down with a kraut pounder, which is a bit like a wooden rolling pin. But I don't do it that way because it's hard work, and well, yeah, because it's hard work. So I do this method of squeezing it. So you put the salt in and you just squeeze and keep squeezing your vegetables, and eventually some juice will start to come out, unless they're old vegetables. I can start to feel it now. So if they're really old, then you might not get much juice or none at all. So I can start to feel it between my fingers, so that's good. It's starting to mush down a bit. So you keep doing that until you feel like you've squeezed as much of it as possible. There's nothing really much left to squeeze, and you should end up with quite a lot of juice in the bottom, or brine as they call it. And then this, along with the vegetables, will go into your jar. Now the jar you pick should be sterilised. I just boil water and pour it in and then swoosh it around, but some people put it in the oven or use a special sterilizer. It's totally up to you, as long as it's sterile. So it's less likelihood of it going mouldy. Dropping plenty on the floor for the dogs. Now, as I said, you can add fruit to this as well. Actually, apple's really good in sauerkraut. Or you'll see from this jar, I put oranges in around the outside and a little bit of the orange juice on the inside too. And that's really quite nice as well. So yeah, definitely lots of juice coming out of this now. So I'm almost done. Just make sure I've squeezed it all. So if you are suffering from IBS, food intolerances, bloating, hormonal issues, immune issues, mood and energy issues, then it's quite possible that adding fermented foods and drinks to your daily regime will help with those. It's going to put loads of great nutrients into your diet and help you absorb the nutrients from the foods you're already eating and help you process the foods you're eating better as well. And then it's also good if there's a yeast and parasite issue, things like that, which many people have got. So I think we're just about done here. So then the next stage is we're going to stick this in our jar. Yeah, so that's done. So I've got a big jar here, probably a bit too big, but that's fine. So we're going to put all the veggies in there. And then we're going to pack it down as tight as possible and see where the brine comes up to. But this recipe is super easy. You can do it, like I said, with any cabbage, almost any vegetables. Crunchier the better. Things like parsnip and stuff work. Onions. Add your favourite herbs and spices. Oh, this wasn't far off, look. I thought it was going to be massive, this jar, for this recipe. So now it's all in there. We pack it down. You can see the brine coming up a bit, which is great. And if it's not enough, we just add a little bit of water, because this cabbage has been around for about 5 days, so it wasn't as fresh as it could have been. So wiping off all the extra bits from around the edge, because the less there is there, the less likely it's going to go mouldy or get contaminated in some way. So now that I've pushed all that down, I'm going to add water. And no, it doesn't have to be bottled water, it's just because I am working out on the balcony, I've decided to use bottled water. So that's probably about right. So it covers all the veggies. I think all of these veggies are just on the outside. Now what we'd normally do is you could put the leaf of the cabbage over the top, make sure that's submerged as well, hold it down with a pebble or a stone or even a little glass or bowl or something. Or you can put a bag of water, or you could put clean film or anything really. I tend not to bother to put anything anymore, because I find if everything's pretty sterile that you've been using and everything is underneath the